What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Yours truly, back again with some more Monster Hunter Generations. It's my own intro and I can't even do it. Douglas Digets Rejoice, Monster Hunter Generations. Rajang. Now, for those of you who don't know, Rajang actually debuted in, I want to say, Freedom Unite, or just 2, one of those games in there, but not a lot of people probably fought him because it was definitely hella in-game, and most was probably remember fighting him in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. He is what everyone lovingly refers to him as Goku, because he's like a monkey-esque, I guess. People think he's a monkey. He looks like a monkey to some people. He has, I guess, certain attributes that will make him seem so, and they would refer to him as Goku because he would, you know, Goku, he goes Super Saiyan, and he gets all shiny and yellow, or whatever. Well, Rajang does the same thing. He also gets all shiny and yellow when he gets, dipped in butter. So, yeah, that's Rajang. Anyway, here we are, gonna go fight him right now. I will say this, he is definitely one tough cookie of a monster. If you've never fought him before, tough cookie. Tough customer. You want to come here squatted up to the tooth, okay? You want to bring mad homies in here when you come to fight this guy. He is no pushover. I mean, he will push you over. We actually get 2 carts in here, but he's tough, so be prepared. This guy, he's no joke. If you thought Devil Joe was no joke, this guy is also no joke. A lot of people like to say who would win, Devil Joe or Rajang, because they're both, you know, beastly and tough and strong, but who knows. Anyway, let's do it right off the rip, of course, off the top, right from the tip-toppity tip. We're going to talk about this monster's weaknesses. Now, much like, I guess you could say any monster that is reminiscent to, like Zenogre, like, I look like this. Any monster who is normally of the thunder element, who isn't, like, water-based, like the Lagiacrus, you can get away with doing good damage to him by using ice. Now, I will recommend ice over everything else because nothing else really does any damage. In the craziest of pinches, for whatever reason, you want to use water, you can. But when I say, like, the multipliers on the hitboxes, actually not hitbox, excuse me, hit zones for the water on this guy are, like, mad low. They're, like, mad low. I mean, they're the minimum amount of, you know, benefit. So, honestly, you don't want to kind of, like, really do that. Come here with some ice. Fabricate ice one way or another. Lagambi is a great alternative. Right now, I'm not using Lagambi. I'm using the Frozen Edge, which is a sword and shield prize, mostly of using ores. So, I mean, yo, if you're a sword and shield user, you want to run that, you totally can. His weakest part on his body is to no surprise there. It is his head. If you do more damage, you can do more damage to his head than anywhere else on his body. Everywhere else is relatively kind of the same, except his front legs. The front legs are actually heavily armored, so if you're gonna hit him in the front legs, odds are you're gonna bounce off of it and you're gonna, like, not want to do that. Hind legs, body, tail, everywhere else is fine, but if you absolutely can, hit him in the head. But the front arms are his most heavily armored parts of his body, and if you hit them, you will do the least amount of damage, period. In a discussion, everywhere else is relatively fine, with the head being the weakest of the points. Now, moving over from that, that's actually a very detailed, like, set of, like, you know, me doing that. I might start doing that more often. It's kind of detailed. With that being said, let's move over to the next subject, of course. That is the armor. Now, let me say this. Rajang is an interesting beast. He comes in 2 forms. He comes in Standard Rajang and Furious Rajang. Now, I will say this. I personally don't understand why the piss sheets on the bed would you have 2 forms of Rajang when the Furious Rajang is just Rajang in Goku form the entire time, meaning the Super Saiyan form. Sure, whatever. And then he gets enraged on top of that, so I guess that's, I don't know. Whatever. If you're fighting Standard Rajang, which is the Rajang you'll normally fight when he's just all black and then maybe go kind of Super Saiyan like he is right now, you will be given a really cool looking, you know, armor set if you really want to go for it. Like, I mean, yo, hats off. The armor is actually pretty dope. I'm not even gonna front. In terms of its abilities, it has that one ability, I think it's called Insight, that allows you to charge your Hunter Arts quicker, which is always a good, you know, skill to have. I mean, yo, I ain't never mad at that skill. On top of that, it also gives you attack. So if you like attack and you like, you know, arts like mad quick, then boom, this is the armor for you. Now, I will say it doesn't have too many slots. It only has 2. It does have a negative skill that will be Sense, giving you -10, which will give you the ability Taunt, meaning monsters are more likely to actually attack you, which could be a good thing if you like that, or a bad thing if you don't. So, you know, figure that out for yourself. but the armor looks pretty dope, I'll admit. So yo, if you want like dope cool armor that's like dope, you can go for it. But with that being said, let's move over to his weapons. His weapons are actually very good. They are the thunder element, of course. I will say this, the attack on his weapons are relatively middle of the road, but above average. Really good. And like end game stats for his weapons would be roughly around 200 on the attack, which is fairly nice. I mean, like, yo, if you really want top of the line, you're gonna go 220 plus or whatever. But 200 is not that bad. You can't really, you know, be mad at 200. I, for the most part, like to say 200 is roughly that. I will pick something up with 200 attack. Okay, straight up. If it has 200, I'm gonna go for it. If that's less than that, I'm gonna see if I can find an alternative. Unless something else about it is like very, very good. But it actually has very good attack. You know, 200 is not bad. Its element is pretty average as well, roughly around 20 or so, which isn't too bad when it comes to the element. The only monster that has mad element would be Zenogre and his Deviant, which we will talk about mad later. But one cool thing about this guy is that, yo, he actually comes with like affinity. Like good affinity, like yo, his lance is like plus 20 affinity. I doubt anyone's a lancer out here, but I'm just saying, yo, if his weapons come with affinity, yo, hats off. So you have really good attack, really good element, and like mad affinity. Yo, congratulations, Rajang, your weapon's actually very good today. Also, his sharpness isn't too bad. So, yo, if, you know, sharpness was a thing for you, yo, you can run it. His sharpness isn't actually bad at all. It's roughly around the good chunk of blue size range as opposed to the mediocre blue. But, yo, that's that on his weapons. Now, when I say suggested weapons and classes and things like that you would like to use in fighting this guy, honestly, if you're moving slow, odds are you're losing. Really, like real talk. This guy moves like a lot, and I would totally recommend using weapons like the sword and shield, possibly the dual blades. Long sword is actually a good alternative. Charge blade, things like that allow you to actually either move quickly, block, or do heavy damage. Now, the lance is cool and everything, but even I, as a lancer, don't really like lance against this guy because you're gonna want to lance to the biggest part of the body. The biggest part of the body being his front half, and since his front half is heavily armored because of his arms, it's not really a good spot to do so. Gun lance is just way too slow to actually do real good against them. So if you're one of those kind of guys like myself, probably want to go find yourself an alternative weapon type. Greatsword is actually pretty good too if you want to break horns. If you're trying to break the horns on this monster, which are actually very vital to making armor and weapons from this monster, you can get away with the Greatsword, but you got to be real nice with it. Okay, hammers are good as well. So yeah, just think about that. Anything that hits quickly and allows you to move quickly as well, I would recommend doing because it's just better for you in terms of, you know, getting the job done. Now, when it comes to hunting styles, Adept, boy oh boy, let me tell you something about Adept. Yeah, because this guy, he moves and he attacks and he does things a lot, and Adept will probably help you out. Now, one thing I will say about this monster in terms of the attacks is that they're actually not very what's the word I'm looking for? Elongated, if you will. I mean, the only attack that he has is actually like it takes more than like a second to do will be his beam, which is one heck of a beam, I might add. It actually got nerfed from that of 4, so it doesn't do that much damage, but it's still one heck of a beam. You don't want to get caught up in it too often. It is actually a thunder beam that does not hit you with thunder blight, so be wary of that. If you get hit with the beam, you will not be hit with thunder blight. It's actually a physical, like imagine that it's not a physical move because it's a beam, but it doesn't take on elemental properties when you get hit by it. So, yo, if you're like a number cruncher, yo, think about that for a second. He does shoot thunderballs that actually do give you with the blight, so you'll watch that right there. But odds of him shooting the thunderballs are kind of low because he loves firing that beam. So Adept roll everywhere if you can, because a lot of his attacks, they're just quick swipes, quick little punches, things like that. You can get away from it. He does pick up rocks and throw them at you. The bigger the rock, the less that he'll actually be able to move. Sometimes he'll pick up a rock and just throw it directly right there because it's so heavy you can't move around with it. But that's pretty much it. He tussles a lot. If you get caught with him, you know, swiping, he'll do his multiple swipe attacks in front of him. If you get caught up in that, that does quite a bit of damage. Like wowzers, trousers, it does some damage. And also it sends you flying. So if you're really good at the Adept thing, please Adept through that. Either through it to the left or to the right, or like straight in front of him, so that way you miss the attack completely. But that's what you want to do when you really want to fight this guy. Use Adept. I recommend it. Aerial you can get away with as well, because I mean mounting is fun and whatnot, but totally run Adept. I highly recommend Adept, and any weapon that's actually pretty quick on the draw. By that I mean like sword and shield, long sword, things that get you to move and whatnot, even with your weapon out. But with that being said, everyone, that's pretty much all I got for you in terms of this monster right here. Oh, whoa, did you see that right there? When he is actually not enraged, when he is all black Rajang, you cannot capture him in a pitfall trap. He'll hop right out of it. Remember that, very important. See, what happened was, as soon as he activated the pitfall trap, he turned back into black Rajang, which messed us up. So use shock traps if you're going to trap him because they're the most consistent, but if you know you're going to get it in, use the pitfall when he's enraged and he's yellow Rajang. Till then, it's not, or if you don't do it, it's not going to work. But with that being said, that's everything I know about the Rajang. If you want me to actually do a video on his Furious variant, which is actually kind of the same thing but a little bit different, a little bit tougher, a couple little bit different things here and there, but if you want me to do so, let me know, and I'll get that video knocked out to you guys like mad quick. Also, he has a pinning attack, but his pinning attack sucks, like a lot. Like, you'll never get killed by it, like ever. So, there you go. With that being said, it's been your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. As always, rather, may the desire sensor forever be in your favor. With that being said, which I said like 36,000 times already, take care. Peace. I'll let your boy eat some chicken, drink the Kool-Aid. I think this is the last video for today. No, it's not. How many videos did today? One. I think we got 2 more today after this one. We'll see. Take care.